I introduced myself as Becky Wyre. My folks named me Rebekah Jane. And in the 5th grade I had to do a report. It was about, did you get your name from a president or a famous person? Were you named after a family member? All kinds of things. And it's spelled like Rebecca in the Bible. And so I asked my mother. I assumed that's where the Rebecca had come from. And she said, no, I named you after a stubborn old mule. She was raised in the South in Piggott, Arkansas, and years after she'd passed away, we went down there to the family cemetery, and I looked, and there was a headstone that said Rebekah Jane Benson. And I turned to my cousin and I said, who is this? And he said, this is your great-grandmother. And I said, Mom said she was a stubborn old mule. And he said, she was. So I regret that I didn't get to meet my grandparents on my mother's side. They had passed away before I was born, but I did have a grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side. And I had my grandpa until I was 7 years old. And I truly know the importance of what grandparents mean in children's lives. I think any of us that have had our grandparents know this is important. And I always wanted a big family. And I was blessed with 2 children. So I didn't get what I wanted. I probably would have kept on, who knows. But my son, at the age of 24, died of an aneurysm of the ascending aorta, and it'll be 14 years next month. So my family grew at that time, and I even know that I have a sister in loss here as far as losing a child. And, you think that's got to be your darkest battle. Surely the Lord doesn't give us more battles than that. And my daughter had always said she never, ever wanted children. So I thought, well, I will never have biological grandchildren. But I was blessed with step-grandchildren through my second husband. And I loved and adored him. And then on June 20th, actually his birthday, June 17th, his birthday's coming up, of 2012, Titan Gunner was born. My daughter had him. And I realized then, whether y'all believe it or not, I believe that my son's soul and Titan's soul crossed paths before he was born. Because there was too much of Jim and Titan to not know that somewhere along the line, he had said, I want you to take this smile. Take these big ears. Listen closely to what others have to say. And he was sent to heal. He healed me in many, many ways. That brokenness of losing a child, he helped heal it. And then, in December of 2015, I became a member of this family, grandparents that are alienated from their grandchildren. So my big family had grown to thousands, more than I had ever imagined. I was with a sisterhood of mothers who had lost their children, and then I was with grandparents who were alienated from their grandchildren. And I thought maybe this, when I was young, when I asked for a big family, maybe this is why this is my family now. And, the Bible says we'll have many sufferings. And my sufferings have led me to write a book and also be a part of this campaign. Titan's my only biological child. We spent 4 days and some weeknights together for over 3 years. And due to circumstances beyond my control, he was torn from my life. My grandmother kept journals, and I have all her journals. And not because she was kept from her grandchildren did she keep these journals. But I learned through her journals that I'm going to write Titan journals each day. At the end of my day, I'm going to write. He will know stories from those that have gone on before him. He'll know the family that he was never able to see. My dad was still alive when this happened. He died in November of 2017, and he begged towards the end, can I see Titan? Will they please let me see Titan? And of course he wasn't able to see him before he passed away, but I know he's watching over him. When this first started, I had stage 3 kidney failure, and I'd had it for several years, and I was holding strong. I'm now on the transplant list with KU, Med, and also St. Luke's, because I moved on to stage 4. And all the doctors keep saying, you need to get rid of some of the stress in your life. Okay, you know, I'll work on that. I haven't quite figured out how that's going to happen. I know if there's a little blue-eyed blonde that someday walks through my door, a lot of my stress will be gone. And I know that many of you here have suffered the ultimate loss of grandchildren. The loss that many of us at night pray we won't get that call. Alienated grandchildren not only lose their grandparents, but they lose great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, families, generations. And it's an epidemic now in the United States that these parents think that they have some right to do this. And so today we're going to raise recognition, and we're going to raise awareness, and we're going to let people know this isn't right. There are some laws that need to be changed, some legislation that needs to be changed. And we have an attorney here who's going to tell you your rights as Kansans. And you are also going to hear some from grandparents who have suffered the ultimate loss. But we're family, and together we're going to fight for our grandchildren's rights. Not only our rights, but for our grandchildren's rights. Because if we don't fight, if we don't raise awareness, if we don't call out their names and say, this is wrong, who will? We have to let people know that these children are important and they do have rights. We were blessed to have Governor Colyer sign the proclamation, and I would like to read our proclamation now to you. And let me tell y'all, this is a big deal. Wouldn't you agree? And this is a big deal. So, you know, when some people say, I sign a proclamation, this is big, because we asked for a long time and we didn't get it, and so we're very pleased. Proclamation by the Governor to the people of Kansas. Greeting. Whereas strong family relationships constitute the foundation of our community. Whereas alienation behaviors are frequently present in high conflict divorces, separations, asymmetrical custody arrangements, and in intact marriages, often causing mental and emotional anguish to the children. Whereas alienation is a term used to describe any number of behaviors and attitudes on the part of one or both parents designed to interfere, damage, or destroy the relationship between a child and family member. It is a form of abuse that causes emotional trauma to children. Whereas alienation takes advantage of the innocent and impressionable, as well as the suggestibility and dependency of a child, depriving children of their right to love and be loved by their extended family. Whereas mental health professionals agree that the negative effects of alienation can follow a child into adulthood with tragic consequences. Whereas the published Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders made several references to the dysfunctional family dynamic of an alienation to be a form of psychological child abuse. Whereas Grandparent Alienation Awareness Day is intended to increase the knowledge and understanding of this problem to help families, institutions, the legal and mental health community, and leaders to be better identify and combat such abusive behavior to our children. Now, therefore, I, Jeff Colyer, MD, Governor of the State of Kansas, do hereby proclaim June 14th as Grandparent Alienation Awareness Day.